So I took the test. I haven't gotten the results yet. So what areas does it cover? What type of information does it give you?
Yeah, so the way we broke it down is we identified that there's six critical systems that if people were to take advantage of and study and understand how these six critical systems work, they'll improve a significant amount of their health and wellness. And they are your mood and behavior, so your mental health, your how do you perceive the world around you, your sleep, your diet and nutrition profile, your cardiovascular health profile, your hormone profile, and finally your anti-inflammatory profile. So that's your sort of, what's your cellular detoxification capacity? Because ultimately your anti-inflammatory profile is what dictates your cardiovascular health, your dietary health, your sleep health, because they play a huge role in that overall process, right? So those are the six systems that we look at. And in each system, we're understanding how the changes in your genes, the variations, are influencing cellular activity that's ultimately going to put your predisposition for certain health outcomes at a certain level, right? So are you more likely to have insulin resistance? Are you more likely to have higher levels of cholesterol, for example, because of a genetic variation? So these are the kind of predispositions we can determine. And then, of course, more importantly is, well, what do you do about it, right? And that's the big question, is like, are these my genes forever? And am I stuck with them? Yes, but it certainly doesn't mean that you can't do anything about it. And if you're intelligent about supporting your genetic profile, you can actually do much more than people would have you believe. So
I think that comes to another question, because what you do is called functional genomics. And then I hear people talking about nutrigenomics testing. Is there a big difference between these two?
Yeah, so nutrigenomics is one aspect of functional genomics, right? So nutrigenomics focuses on, well, what genes influence the diet and nutrition profile of an individual. And what we're saying is, well, that's just one of many systems. And functional genomics is the approach, right? So it's about looking at the body as a system of different functions, and then understanding how these functions play a role across the board. So, for example, the same gene that influences your mood and behavioral profile, COMT, catechol-methyltransferase, that gene produces an enzyme that's either moving really fast or really slow at clearing out neurotransmitters like dopamine and noradrenaline. That's affecting your pleasure, your sadness, your anxiety. But that same gene also influences, for example, how a woman metabolizes her estrogens in the hormone pathway. And so that same gene that influences your brain and your mood and behavior also influences your hormone profile. And so when you see how they interconnect, now you can understand the big picture that, hold on a second, now I understand why there are heavy mood fluctuations while I go through my menstrual cycle, because the same genes that are influencing my estrogen metabolism are also influencing my mood and behavior profile. So being able to provide those insights in a functional manner, in kind of like a holistic, comprehensive manner, is what we specialize in.
That's so cool, putting the puzzles together.
Yeah, exactly. It's putting the piece of puzzle and then just stepping back and looking at the whole picture, right? You want a more pixelated version, a 4K version of your health and wellness, rather than a 360p version of your health and wellness. So we get very, very finite and very precise about a person's health and wellness.